Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. So I've recently been away for a short break to France, and when I came back I found that the fruits on my seedling pawpaw, the seed grown tree that's planted in ground, I didn't grow it from seed. I bought it as an unnamed seedling some years ago, about 7 years I think, from Burncoos Nurseries. And after 2 or 3 years it started flowering and setting occasional fruits. So when I got back from holiday and went out in the garden the next morning, I know it's actually in the afternoon I got back, I found that the 4 fruits on my seedling tree had actually fallen on the ground. No damage on them because it's there's a lot of vegetation underneath the tree, so they hadn't suffered any damage, and that was the one that I'd showed that had sort of gone into dormancy early. There was one bunch of 3 which I think comprised those 3, and this one here was a separate little one that had set on its own. Looks a bit slightly overripe, but it should be perfectly edible. The primus haven't stopped dropping yet, but I've got those bagged because they were more easily within reach, so obviously I'll be waiting to see. They should fall in the next week or so, but I thought we'd have a quick look at these ones. Now interestingly, the fruits are all up quite high, so they weren't flowers that attempted to hand pollinate, and in fact all the ones I tried to hand pollinate didn't set any fruit, so figure that out. So obviously the insects had managed to pollinate these, so I thought we'll actually cut this one open in a minute and just do a tasting on it and see how it is this year. But I'm just going to weigh them quickly. Let's get this turned on. We'll do them in ounces first, so starting with what I think is the smallest one. That's exactly 3 ounces. I think this one might be a little bit bigger, that's 3.5 ounces. I'll do them in grams in a minute. This much larger one is 5.9 ounces, and this one is 7 ounces, which probably, yeah, that's around half a pound. So let's change them to grams. And we'll weigh them again. So we're on 199 grams for the largest, 166 for the next one down, 101 for that one, and the smallest one is 86 grams. So quite a spread of sizes, considering those 3 were all on the large cluster. This one was separate. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around and we'll have a look at this one that's obviously going a little bit over now, and we'll see what colour it is inside and how it tastes this year. I'm smelling this one here, and it's got a sort of a ripe banana smell to it, which is to be expected, I suppose. But in any case, let's have a look at them and see how they are. I'll flip the camera around and see in the next part of the video. Okay, so let's cut this one open. So it's a little bit discoloured, which means it could be a little bit bruised inside, just there. Could have bruised when it came down, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. The rest of it should still be pretty edible. Be interested to see how many seeds it's got in it this year. One of the disadvantages of seed grown one is sometimes they have a very high seed to flesh ratio. You never know till you open them. I will be saving the seeds for these because I know I've got some people who'd like to buy a few this year. Nice colour, sort of like a fairly bright yellow with a little bit orangey round the outside, where it's probably slightly riper than it wants to be. Let's see what this is like this year. Yeah, it's got that typical fairly it's creamy, so it's not dried out, this one. Seeds are toxic on these, so you don't want to be eating the seeds. give those I'll be giving those a good wash and then storing them in the fridge in some damp moss or compost of some sort. How would I describe the flavour? Sort of custardy with a hint of, maybe a hint of pineapple and banana mixed together. Sometimes they have a slight aftertaste to them. It's there. Seeds are nice and fat. It's there, but it's fine. Now I'm limited in what I've tasted on Pawpaw. I've only actually ever tasted fruits off Prima and my own unnamed seedling, this one here. I have attempted at times to graft other Pawpaw onto the main tree, but what I found is when you have a mature tree like that, it seems to favour the tree's own growth, and quite often the grafts start growing and then they fail. Whereas if you were to take a seedling rootstock with a single stem and graft onto it, obviously all the energy goes into the graft. So the grafts that I had done on the tree, some of which succeeded, all failed. Eventually those branches died off lower down and the tree carried on concentrating on its own ones. But yeah, I quite enjoy Pawpaw. I'm not overwhelmed by them like some people, but it might simply be my own fruits in this country aren't overwhelming, but nevertheless very nice. Obviously be nice to try one of the larger ones, and my Prima should be ready fairly soon as well, and I'll do a video on those as well. One of the fruits is actually quite large, might be the largest I've had. I'm not sure what my record is, but it's certainly bigger than that fruit there, so it should be comfortably over £half a pound. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hope you found that of some interest. You can grow them here in the UK. I haven't seen anybody with them producing fruit in the north yet, but hopefully Peter will get there. But they certainly seem to fruit down in the south where we get a little bit more warmth. I probably should have watered them more this year, but never mind, I didn't. That's all there is to it. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you like, subscribe to my channel, and remember to click on the bell if you'd like to see new videos when they come out. Catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.